What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Pratt here, and this is Spokes. So as you know, I'm always bringing you accessible, modifiable, and engaging content for in the gym, at home, and in the classroom. Spokes is another one of my go-to games that can be used in a wide variety of units and themes, depending on the skill set you're hoping to work on. The game premise is quite simple. You're going to have multiple teams surrounding a central circle, and they're going to work to take items out of the center circle back to their corresponding hoops. So first things first, let's take a look at the setup of Spokes.
Alright, so as you can see here, this is my condensed setup. I have it set up for 4 teams. Each team is an equal distance away from the center circle. And all teams have a matching spot marker and hula hoop to place their cones in. This is how the game sets up, and teams are going to line up with their players on those spot markers. Now let's imagine I was on the purple team. When the game starts, my job is to be standing on this spot marker and collecting cones and putting them into that hula hoop. So on go, I'm gonna head in. I'm gonna pick up any of these orange pylons. In this case, doesn't matter which one. I'm gonna take this pylon, I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna run back, place it in my own hula hoop, and then tag off to my teammate who would also be on the purple spot marker. Once I tag off, I'm gonna wait. My partner or my teammate is gonna head into the middle. They're gonna retrieve a cone and come on back. And we're gonna continue this pattern until there's no more cones in the middle. Now at the conclusion of the game, it's gonna look more like this. And each team or partnership is gonna have a couple cones in their hula hoop. At this point, all teams are gonna count up their cones before returning them to the middle and returning back to their spot marker. So in this case, if I was on the purple team, I'd quickly count my cones. I have 5. I'm gonna take all 5 of these cones. I'm gonna quickly put them back in the middle, and then I'm going to return to my spot, back at the purple. We're gonna get ready for another round. All the other teams would be doing the same thing at the same time.
Now that we've checked out the setup a bit, let's talk about some simple rules. Rule number 1, when I'm moving into the center circle, I must be the only person on my team doing so. No one else in my group can be heading in at the same time as me. So as I come in and grab a cone, my group needs to be waiting, and when I get my cone, I need to make it back, put it in my hula hoop, and then rule number 2 is I must tag off my next teammate before they can head into the circle. Those are really the only 2 rules you need for Spokes if you're playing in its simplest form. We'll talk about a few more rules in the modification section to come. Alright, so now that you know how to play Spokes, why play it? Also, why is it called Spokes? There's a little circle in the middle, there's a big circle of teams on the outside, and when students move in and out of the middle in the straight lines, it kind of looks like a bicycle tire, and the pattern that they're moving looks like a spoke, hence the name. Now, more importantly than where the name comes from, let's talk about why you should play this great game. Number 1 is it's easily adaptable for multiple group sizes. As I said earlier in the video, I have this set up currently for 4 teams, but it can be modified to have as many teams as you want. My favorite way to play Spokes is having partnerships at each spot marker and hoop. By doing that, you're going to have very minimal waiting time. One partner is always going in, while the other partner is simply waiting their turn, but that wait time is going to be very minimal depending on what they're doing. And as you'll see in the modification section to come, there's going to be ways where you can actually keep both partners involved if you just do simple groups of 2 or partnerships instead of a big team at each spot marker. The other reason I love Spokes so much is it applies in many different themes, units, whatever you want to call them. Simply change the object in the middle, and you can use this for lacrosse. Students can be coming in with a lacrosse stick, working on picking up a ball before returning it to their hoop. You can have it working on sending and receiving or throwing and catching skills. I've had students play where they run into the middle and there's footballs. They must stay in the center circle and throw it back to their partner, who must catch it to put it in the hula hoop, and then they switch roles. I've also used this game working on some soccer skills with the feet, where when students run in, they have to pull a ball out with their feet, work on those dribbling and trapping skills and retaining skills, and get the ball back to their hula hoop. A really good one for soccer skills is having them actually have to roll the ball into the hula hoop with their feet. That's really going to work on those trapping skills, and it's going to keep them engaged and challenged. And lastly, another reason Spokes is such a great game is because it can easily be made to be cooperative or competitive depending on your group and your needs. When I played in an elementary school, typically I just have students count the number of cones or objects that they get into their hoop, and the next round we play, I have them try and beat their own personal score. In this way, they're working on bettering themselves, challenging themselves, as opposed to worrying about what everybody else is doing. However, if you wanted to, of course, you could make this a competition. And now that you know why you should play Spokes, here's a few more modifications to consider other than just switching the object in the middle and the sport or the theme that you're currently working on. Spokes can be modified so that you can have certain objects in the middle that are worth more points, less points, negative points, you name it. You could also mix up the color of the cones in the middle or the objects in the middle and have students only be able to get certain types. For example, if you have beginners and advanced players playing, they could have different objects in the middle that they have to collect. Say you could have students working with a scoop versus some students who are working with a lacrosse stick. You can modify this to make it work for your context and your needs very easily. Alright everybody, so that about does it for Spokes. Another great, accessible, engaging, and modifiable game for you to play in the gym, at home, and in the classroom. Please remember to hit that subscribe button below, sign up for weekly notifications, like, and share away. Your comments are always appreciated as well. But for now, this is Mr. Pratt signing off from Spokes.